our perspective.
Hi, and welcome to F the News, the social current affairs podcast looking into all things female and empowering women everywhere. I am one of your hosts, Liyanne Marie.
And I'm Sancha Currie, and this week we're going to be speaking to two more amazing female guests. But before we do, we're going to introduce the one and only Teresa to sing the F the News anthem.
F the news, 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 F the news. Ba 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 ba. Fem the news, 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 fem the news. Ba 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 ba. Making our own rules. We are super strong. We are one family. We're sisters where we belong. Come on, everyone. F the news, F the news, F the news. Fem the news, fem the news, fem the news. Ba 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 ba. One more time. F the news, F the news, F the news. F the news, F the news, F the news. Ba 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 ba. F the news.
Thank you so much, Teresa.
So a little birdie told me that she may be stepping into the news vault.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
She might be the News Vault guest today.
Okay, well
You
we'll have to
don't know.
we'll have to wait. You'll have to wait
We'll
to the end.
You'll have to wait and see.
Yes. So next up, we are going to be reading the news round for you ladies and gentlemen. And when you're ready, drop that beat.
So I got fed up of men at gyms, so I'm starting my own for women. Natalie Barnett, a 25-year-old fitness influencer who is launching a women-only gym in West London called The Girl Spot. She was motivated by her own experiences of harassment in mixed-gender gyms and feedback from her 1.8 million TikTok views.
Peru's forced sterilisation case heard by the Human Rights Court. The Inter-American Court of Human Rights is set to hear the case of Celia Ramos, a 34-year-old Peruvian mother who died in 1997 following a forced sterilisation procedure.
And Italy upholds IVF ban for single women. Italy's constitutional court has upheld a ban on intra-fertilisation IVF for single women.
And Sudanese women face atrocities amid the civil war. Escape from Khartoum chronicles the harrowing journey of Wanis, his wife Inista, and their 7 children as they flee the war-torn Khartoum amid Sudan's brutal civil war.
And Brooke Shields discusses menopause and ageing at the WSJ event. At the WSJ's Future of Everything event on May the 28th, 2025, the 59-year-old model and actress Brooke Shields openly discussed the realities of ageing and particularly menopause.
The ICC prosecutor steps aside amidst misconduct investigation. Karim Khan, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court (ICC), has temporarily stepped aside amid an external investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct.
And Taliban's gender-based persecution faces international scrutiny in Afghanistan. The Taliban has doubled down on their attack against women and girls. They've gone so far as to even order windows be blocked if women could be seen from the outside.
Wow. European court rules against marital duty in France. That French woman was not at fault for her divorce due to not engaging in sexual relations with her husband during their marriage.
Wow. And before our next headline comes, renaming polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS. A global study led by Professor Helena Teed of Monash University has revealed that 80% of 7,708 patients and health professionals believe that polycystic ovary syndrome, it needs a new name.
Agreed.
Yeah.
She Media's collab returns to the XSW South 2025 to address women's health. She Media has announced the return of Women's Health Forum, and the event aims to showcase a range of voices and perspectives, driving advancements that shape the future of women's health.
And our next headline is, it is coming, Maria Grazia Chiuri departs Christian Dior after transformative tenure. She is stepping down as the creative director of Christian Dior after joining the fashion house in 2016. Her departure follows a widely acclaimed final show that's going to be held in Rome.
And last but not least, a second woman tells jury Sean Diddy Combs essayed her, and Cassie welcomes her third child with her husband Alex Fine amid 2 weeks after her testimony. The couple who married in 2019 also have 2 daughters.
Huge congratulations to them, Cassie and Alex.
Absolutely.
And that's the headlines. Wow. There's a lot going on, isn't there, Sanch?
There's always a lot going
on.
on. The news is definitely, as I say, musing.
Yeah.
The news is musing.
It is. It is.
I would love to stick on some of the points or speak to some of our guests about some of the points as well. But what do you feel about the women's only gym? I know she's up and running now, so that's huge congratulations to her. We love the pink theme.
Well, we like a bit of pink.
We love the pink theme,
yeah,
and I love a little bit of play on words. I love that it's the G spot.
Yeah, exactly. the G spot. I mean, the thing is, everybody needs to feel comfortable in a safe space.
Absolutely.
So I think it's people's preference. You know, gyms can be intimidating for some people.
Yes.
So if there's an option for women only, male only, you know, whatever the spots may be.
I think she's been spot on. I think she's read the room. She's read the environment, and most importantly, she's even launched an app. I mean, I've done a little bit of digging around her, and she's really remarkable because she's got an app that sometimes that they can take out of the gym if they're working out late. Yeah. And if they feel like they're being compromised, they just press the safety button and it alerts sort of like a wider network. So she's doing some amazing things.
And I think it's just about giving options for people, isn't it? It's allowing them to kind of choose where they want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to go.
Anything else stand out to you? I mean, it's a lot.
There's loads going on. I mean, it's also interesting, like Brooke Shields discussing like the menopause and aging. I think this is so important, isn't it? I think it's always been that taboo subject.
Yes.
And I think it needs to be spoken about a lot more freely. We need to understand it more. You know, I know I watched an amazing documentary that Davina McCall did about menopause, and I learned so much in that.
Yes.
You know, and I think it's good to keep discussing it, talking about it, making it more, you know, open to discuss.
Agreed.
Everybody suffers with things in different ways.
And everyone's going to reach that juncture.
Absolutely. And we need to understand it more, don't we? So that we know how to kind of deal with things. And even for partners and the male family members, like how to help.
So it's not a laughing matter, but I do joke with some friends about the menopause being the time that the men have to pause. And so...
Men, you pause.
It's time for
the
pause
menopause.
Button.
Yeah.
And I think that I've spoken to a lot of women around this topic, various age groups. Yeah. And a lot of women now are being perimenopausal way before the 40s and the 30s. I met a lady in her 20s that was perimenopausal that would love to come on this show. Yeah. I think we need to, we have to have a whole, show about that. It leads on to the PCOS or the PCOS because like people think that it's just having cysts on your ovaries and it's beyond that. It's a big. So as I said, there's lots of education in the womb health. And shout out to Womb Bay. We're going to be having her on one of the sessions with you. Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I think that just more conversations need to happen. And I think that's why it's important what we do here, because it is having that real conversation. It's educating, it's sharing the knowledge. It's like, you know, giving people that voice as well. Absolutely. So they can tell us their journeys and stories to help all of you people out there. So yeah, but that leads us on nicely, right? It does. Because we've got some incredible guests today, haven't we? We're excited. We're always excited. Yeah. But our first guest, we want to welcome her to F the News. And as you know, we love to kind of, you know, dive deep and ask them some deep questions and get their journeys. But we're joined today by the phenomenal Sophia, a woman whose journey will leave you very inspired, moved and ready to chase your own dreams. From humble beginnings as a teenage single mum in London, Sophia made the bold decision to carve out a future not just for herself, but for her daughter too.
at that time. With grit and grace, she built a thriving career in hairdressing, serving clients across Surrey, Hampshire, and beyond. She is redefining what it means to lead with passion and purpose. But she didn't just stop there. Sophia launched an academy and has partnered with schools and colleges and is mentoring hundreds of students and filled a real critical gap in the film and TV world by training professionals to care for and style textured hair, making her mark on shows like Hollyoaks and EastEnders. Now she is celebrating her biggest milestone yet, the opening of her very own salon. Not just a space for beauty, but a hub for education, empowerment, and excellence. And who better to help her launch it than her own brother, actor and comedian, the wonderful Richard Blackwood, and legendary musician, Juna Gascon. I'm always saying that if I'm saying it right. The episode now is a real celebration of perseverance and breaking barriers, and of a woman who has poured her soul into lifting others as she climbs. Please sit back, get ready to be inspired, and let's step into the incredible world of Sophia. There she is!
Welcome.
Oh, hello.
It's so
Come and get comfy.
Lots of love.
Move the cushion, get comfy. Move it
Get
where
the
you
cushion.
need.
Did you like your intro?
I loved it. I was like, is that me?
Did you recognise you? Yeah.
I was like, loving this, girls. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for being with
having
us.
me.
We are delighted to have you here. I mean,
Oh,
just reading through all of that, it's like, how have you done all of this, right?
Crazy.
It must feel quite
It's been
emotional listening
mental,
to it, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And I just want to take a quick minute just to say,
Yeah.
we went to school together.
Yeah.
she dropped the cat out of the bag already.
Yeah, so
we have known each other
we
a long
have grown
time.
together, and our
Absolutely.
paths to do this,
Yeah.
and just to put us amazing creatives in one space is unreal. So
Yeah.
God
I'm
bless
just
you, Queen.
like,
I'm just proud all
yes,
around.
I'm
It's a
buzzing.
virtuous circle, isn't
Absolutely
it?
Yeah,
buzzing.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
darling, I really am.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, look at that. She's dropped the gem.
Yeah.
We've known
Drop the
each other
gem.
a long
Drop the
time.
gem. But
She
now you
dropped
know
that
why it's
gem.
so intimate.
Yeah. So let's go
So
back
nice.
a little bit, Sophia, because I think it's really important for people to hear your journey.
Absolutely.
And let's go back into the beginning. You mentioned, we were in school and stuff, but you was a teenage single mum. Take us back to that time and how was it, and your motivation. How did you get through that time?
When you kind of put me on the spot and say you're a teenage mum, it's quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
Now, maybe as an adult and having gone through so many different things in life, hearing that back is like, wow, yeah, I actually was. But at that time, you don't see it like that because you're going through it for the first time, and you're just coasting, you're cruising, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and you've got parents helping you, you've got aunties, you've got friends. But when you see the entirety of it from an adult looking in, I go, oh my goodness, that was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot. But Antonia was a child I wanted, and I felt really, really confident at the time, like, yes, be fine, I can do this. That's always my attitude. Yeah, be fine, I can do this.
Yeah.
And you have to
I can handle it.
You absolutely have.
Always been my my attitude towards life. But it was difficult. And there were times when, especially financially, there wasn't a lot of money to go around. And I had support, which was great.
Is that family?
Family,
Friends?
yeah, family. And my mum.
Yeah.
My mum, she was my my rock through everything.
Beautiful.
So I had Antonia growing up in South London, as you know. And when I had Antonia, the relationship with her father it got a bit turbulent, and I was born into a very respectable family. And they were like, well, this is the worst thing you could have done, really. So we'll help you with the child. You're not going to be pushing prams with unmarried mums. You're going to go to uni, or you're going to go to work. You're going to continue. This is not going to stop you.
That's right.
And the first place I found a course to do was miles away, over an hour's drive in Hampshire. And I was like, oh, Mum, I'm going to go and do this course in Hampshire. Don't know where it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what. It's music management. It's events management. It's
Wow.
everything wrapped
Yeah.
into one. I think it's going to be great. See you later. I'm going. And I commuted and done that, you know, every day for a year and got used to the area and thought, actually, at this time, I've not got the money to buy a house.
Yeah.
And if I'm housed, you know, social housing, it's going to be in an estate. And it's going to be, no disrespect, but it's going to be harder. There's going to be a lot of poverty. And I didn't want that for Antonia. And so I was like, actually, I'm going to move out. So I was 20 then.
Oh, I was going to say, how old was you
I
when
was
you
20.
done that?
And my family was still like, is she mad? Where's she going?
To be honest, I think that's
Because
quite
you're leaving your kind of security.
But it's also a very astute move because, as far as I'm concerned, the further you go out, the cost of living comes down a bit. So I think that was really astute at 20 years old. Yeah, you switched on,
knowing that.
And you know, the things I was seeing were very different to you know, Streatham and Gypsy Hill and West Nord and all these areas.
All right, South London.
And I love South London.
Yeah.
I also love seeing horses and tractors and you know, all the differences and you know, the marital status and children coming from mum and dad and not so much broken homes. And I was like, this is what I want. So I feel like if I position myself around what I want and what I want to become, it hopefully rubs off and you emulate, you know, what you're around, don't you?
Absolutely.
So so raised Antonia outside of London, and
and what was that like? What was that like? Obviously, you know, you've now moved to a new area. You've got your daughter. You know, new schools, all of these things.
Was it welcoming?
Was there some? Was it welcome? Was it challenging?
It was welcoming. It was refreshing. It was new.
Lovely.
When you're going through something, you know, for the first time and it's new, it always feels like things take longer to experience things and you take it in more. Whereas when you've repeated and done things over and over again, it's just like, oh my gosh, time goes so quick. But it's because you've done it.
Absolutely.
And it's not a new experience anymore. But being outside of London, I enjoyed it. School was great for Antonia because I was a black young girl in a predominantly white area.
I was going to say the diversity.
The thing is, because my mum came here in the 50s and she and her sister, they were the only black children in school back then in the UK. My mum came here when she was 4, just giving you the perspective. So then a lot of her friends were white. So me growing up with a lot of my mum's friends being white and calling them aunts,
it didn't feel like strange.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, well, this is standard
for me,
Whereas in some, you know, cultures and races, you don't really have as much integration. But I felt like I had that, and I felt quite confident, and it was great. You did have the odd person make the odd.
I think that's anywhere though, isn't it?
100%. And
I think when you leave London, you don't realise what so much of a diverse culture it is. But then when you go outside, because when I went to university, same experience. Again, I've always had a multicultural family. Then you go further afield and you're confident with all cultures because that's London. But then you go further out and they haven't been.
You realise they haven't.
So you've got that to kind of contend with. But how did that impact your daughter?
Antonia was the only black girl in school. She had some amazing friends from reception all the way up to secondary school. And London is similar, but out there it's very much you have the feeder school. So all of the kids from this school would go onto that school, which she did until year 8. And then we moved not very far, but into a different county. So she went into secondary school as the new girl. And going in as the new girl and going in as a minority and looking for friendship groups and finding the popular girls who are not always the nicest.
They're the mean girls sometimes.
Oh my gosh. So she actually, by the time she'd got there to sort of 14, 15, I found that she was kind of, Mum, I want to go back and hang out with my cousins in London. Mum, I want to go back and I want to go. And I'm like, there's a bit of a, you know, a bit of a pull here. You don't want to be, you don't feel comfortable socializing as much. But I got to learn that she was going through a lot of bullying and and I was noticing like hair was falling out, and one night I just heard a thud and I was like, what on earth was that? And she was literally convulsing, like seizure at the top of the stairs, and I literally thought, I was like,
I mean,
losing
that's
my
just
baby.
the stress of it all, isn't it? It's the
That
stress.
just makes me so
The stress,
angry.
yeah,
I don't know.
it was bad, and we had a lot of to and from with the hospital and stuff, and they're trying to find a cause, and I'm like,
The
I
cause
think
was
this
stress.
she was internalizing
Yeah.
a lot of
Baby
it.
girl,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really, really tough time for her, bless her heart. And I think she just got to a point where, not that she didn't know she was different, but everyone just accepted her as Antonia before.
Yes. But
But
now
when
this was
now
the first
this is the
time.
first time, it's like, I'm not beautiful anymore. I'm not beautiful. My friends, like, I'm not seen as beautiful unless I look like this, or I don't fit in unless I'm this size, or I don't fit in unless my hair is a lot of self-consciousness. And
as a mother,
That's
is
heartbreaking.
tough.
Yeah.
That's hard to deal with, isn't
really,
it? Yeah.
really tough.
I mean, and the reason why I'm like hold on to that is because there could be people that listen to this and their children are going through things. They don't know what's happening. You know, the bullying for me, that really, really like fires me up.
100%.
Soul, doesn't it?
It really does, because the bully, it can impact and it can trauma somebody's life for the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so even that you managed to find out that what it was happening or how she was feeling, like
I took the I decided that I would take her out of that school and put her back into the school that she originally was with.
Had a friendship group already
100%,
established.
but, and you know, yes, they were all girls of a different colour.
Yes,
but they were lovely girls.
Yeah.
People are
They
people.
accepted
Do you
her
know
for
what I
her.
mean? And I was like, I'm not having this. This school are telling me you're going to fail your GCSEs. You're not going to get any grades.
Wow.
You're not going to amount to anything. I'm going to put you back in a school where I feel you're going to be comfortable.
So I can ask, from top down, from the teachers, you're saying, down to the students, she was just getting a hard time because the teachers should know better.
No, yeah,
it wasn't probably the support.
The support, but also I know some children that have been to that school and they've done well. It just didn't work for my child.
And the environment that you send your children in is so important, isn't it? And you making that decision to go, you know what, actually this is not the environment, it's not working, it's not for you. I'm actually going to make a decision and you're going to go back to the other school.
Kudos to you for
we
pivoting.
have to do these things though, don't we? And it might seem like
disruptive.
Oh, I don't know how I can do that. But you know, if you are a product of your environment,
100%,
and if that environment is not bringing out the best in your daughter,
that's it,
and is making her feel, then make them good for you for doing that.
To make that move.
And for her as well, because that's probably turned her in a completely different direction for now.
Yeah,
the
and
woman she is today.
She was welcomed with open arms when she went back. The school obviously knew her from when she was there for a bit before, and they're like, of course we'd have her back. And I remember getting a few emails from the school saying Antonia's work ethic is, I've never seen anything like it, but she's not going to break. She's not, because she was on a bit of catch up because of the way the GCSEs were slightly different. The work she put in, honestly,
testimony to you.
Oh my God.
Testimony to you.
I mean, she's a big woman now, right? Are we right?
Really 24,
well, we know the other side of that story, and the other side is golden.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it did work.
Good.
And I don't regret moving out of London.
No. Yeah,
and raising her, not at all.
And that's a big thing, I think, for people to hear, because they could be going through some sort of transformation. I don't know what to do, what path to do. Should I do it? Should I not? Sometimes we have to take.
Yeah, most definitely. And I also want to say, sometimes in these situations where you're listening to my story or you're listening to someone else talk, it can be taken as that's them, but honestly, it can be anyone.
Yes,
and the more we grow and the more we get to understand and accept and open up our hearts and take things in, we realise that actually, if it can work for this person, it can work for that person. Absolutely. It's just how you apply yourself.
So important. And I mean, you have done so much different, I mean, in your bio, you've done so much stuff, right?
Going on.
So we're going to move, so you got into hairdressing.
Yes.
When did that first start for you?
Always. Is that me?
And that wonderful hair ensemble. Look at
this. I mean, look at this. Hairdressing. Was that a passion of yours?
Yeah, always. So always did hair from a child.
Yeah.
And when I got to maybe about 14 years old, my mum was like, I found a hair salon. And actually, one of my brother's 10 years older than me, and one of his friends was a really successful hairdresser.
Right.
So I kind of was like, I wonder if I could work where he's working. And it worked out that we found a salon, and I started being a Saturday girl when I was about 14 years old in a salon in Tooting.
The Saturday girl job.
The Saturday girl.
Not afraid of work.
Sweeping up the hair, making
They still exist. Do you have a Saturday girl?
Yeah, I will get one.
So any Saturday girls needing a job, we'll get them.
100%, but it does still exist, and I absolutely loved going to work. And because I always sort of braided and stuff like that, even though I was just a Saturday girl, my seniors would be like, oh, can you just, because they weren't braiders, and they're like, oh, could you just braid this one? Could you braid that? So I actually was doing clients from a really, really young age. Yeah.
Look at that. Oh my God, great. And you've worked like across so many different areas as well.
Yeah.
And then, but how did you grow your career? So for anybody that's, you know, looking at how to grow their career in this industry, because I mean, you've done so much of your hairdressing.
Yeah, I have.
How did you kind of do that?
I have, and I feel like we're all creatives here, and as much as hair has always been a love for me, so is music.
Yes.
But having Antonio, my brother, always turned to me and he said, the reason you didn't pursue your music is because you went into survival mode and you needed to feed your child.
Yeah, we've spoken about this, haven't we?
Yes,
and
survival mode.
And sometimes we put down our love for what we do for the fact that we have to be mothers. And
of course,
should there be a choice? Can you have it all? Like, I mean,
it's a big question.
It's a hard one, isn't it, to navigate? Because if you pursue the music or the creative career, what are you dropping? What balls are you dropping?
That's right.
100%.
What you sacrifice.
What you're sacrificing.
Right. That's right.
You've got to do things that work around the routines and music
and
creative
but
things.
interesting your brother said that though.
Yes,
you know, you went into survival mode.
I went into survival mode
So
really young.
so the music group, what would that have looked like for you? Tell us.
Girl, I don't know.
Who would we have had here?
I don't know. Yeah. But what I will say is it's never too late to make a change.
Absolutely.
And I haven't got to that. I'm not there. I don't know what that would look like. But never say never.
Never say never. Right. Absolutely.
But in survival mode, I was like, right, I need to feed.
Yeah.
I need to feed this girl.
Right.
And yeah, I had 50 quid, and I said, Dad, can you just create me some business cards?
Wow.
And that was when we lived in a little village in Surrey when I moved out. And I noticed that there was a lack of, or there was no hairdressers for textured hair in the area for a good 10-mile radius. And I was like, let me just give out these cards and see what happens. And literally,
to your surprise,
did you just your client base just went
boom? I had, and I've still got it. I don't know if I've got a picture up there, but I bought later on. I've got a case that I've had all them years, and I never get rid of the case because it's what started me on this journey. Yeah. Having all the experience from working as a Saturday girl and working with really great stylists and stuff, I was just going door to door, taking Antonia with me.
Can I just say that's old school marketing as well? But that old school marketing works. Like that's called direct to customer, direct word of mouth.
Yeah,
100%.
And when I was younger, I used to. Our dad owned a cab station in Dulwich, and so that was our job, going out and posting the cab cards. And as I said,
sticking them on people's windows, you know, like on the windscreen of the car.
Big business.
You do.
Now people know you exist. We didn't have social media.
We didn't.
No, we didn't.
No TikTok.
Exactly.
It works. And this box is full of what's in this box? Full of
what's in the box?
What's in the box? So more like a vanity case. So
I wish you'd have bought it.
Right. But it's one of those things that I've been doing it for a long time, and I've still got it, and it's like, why are you not throwing that away, Soph?
Memorabilia.
Memorabilia.
Absolutely.
So yes, I started doing mobile. So if you put it into perspective for anyone who lives in that sort of area, I was going from sort of like Guildford to Staines, like Basingstoke, Reading, like a good 10, 15-mile radius of where I was.
Amazing.
And in my early 20s, and it just propelled and warranted
that
me
was just providing home services for anyone that wanted.
And I didn't see where that. I remember being
And now that's
quite,
like amazing. That's an actual business model that people now, like, you was ahead of your time with that business model.
Do you reckon?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
The convenience of having your hairdresser come to the
yeah,
home.
well, yes, with that, yes, 100%. I
But
agree.
you know,
Because
hairdresser-
it scaled
yeah,
it and made that sort of like an app now.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I didn't know what it looked like. I knew that I needed to feed my
That's
daughter.
right. Yeah.
I knew that I was a good hairdresser.
Yeah.
But when I opened my first salon, I then thought, I've learned all of this in-house. I don't actually have the qualification to say, somebody asks me, okay, well, you've done my hair and it looks great, but why? To turn around and just go, oh, because that's what I was taught to do, isn't good enough.
No.
You're taking people's money. And I'm opening doors now. I'm like, no. So then I went back and I studied whilst I was pregnant with my second child, which was 11 years later.
Congrats. Look at that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, can we get a round of
The
applause?
power of studying. What did you go and study then?
So I studied hairdressing for combined hair textures.
Right.
Because I had a lot of experience already, I could sort of scale straight up to level 3.
Yeah.
But I needed to understand what I was doing, why I was doing it, and understand the chemistry behind, you know, all the chemicals that you're applying and products and ingredients. And so that when I'm now taking people's money, I'm qualified and I'm insured to do that, which not all
And it's assuring, actually. It is assuring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people take you more seriously as well. Do you know what I mean? So,
and it's true, you're able to answer the questions. You're not just there just styling and making it look nice. You're like educating them as well as they go. You know, I know that means a lot to me if I go to someone. Like, I want to understand the root and the care of my hair.
That's
not just.
And our hair is so different.
It's so different.
There is a massive education in that, and that's probably why you went into the academic route. And I would love to ask you, you know, what part did you decide, actually, I now want to pay it forward and grow my knowledge or give back and grow this academy?
Yeah.
The salon was great, and I felt not only were people grateful that I could do their hair, being in an area where you've now getting a lot more multiculturalism, and not multicultural, but relationships of different backgrounds. So I'm getting a lot of mixed hair, a lot of combination textures, a lot of parents who might be white with kids with mixed hair or black with kids with mixed. You'd be surprised how many black women go, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And they were really, really appreciative, and they really asked me a lot of questions, and I felt like this is a bit more of an educational type of thing here. I started to create workshops that were free of charge, that women could come in and they could learn about their children's hair.
I love that.
And I remember someone saying to me, why are you doing them for free? And I'm like,
isn't that?
Just because I'm enjoying doing it. But what happened in doing it for free, they're lifelong clients that have never left me. Do you know what I mean? And they're people who have turned around and recommended and go, I won't go anywhere else. You need to go to Sophia. She's unbelievable. By giving away something for free, I've now got a lifelong stream of income.
Can I just say, kudos to this woman. She's so humble, and she's even downplaying it. I remember supporting you. You wrote the book. So on top of that, you wrote the book. She wrote the book to empower. Yeah, you did. And that for me was just like the next stage of you're giving it back, and now it's like reaching more, because I was saying that I didn't have a daughter at the time. But then I'm like, now she asks us questions. Mum, can I wear my hair straight? And I said, well, sometimes my hair's straight, sometimes it's curly. And the education of books like that, like what would we do if we didn't have it?
No.
Yeah, and it, you know, fast forward to even Curly Kyler, I should have brought a copy.
I wish you
had. I wish you did.
But the workshops sort of became more frequent, and then I looked at the local colleges, because what I was finding was when I was now recruiting staff, everybody was qualified as a hairdresser, but only in Caucasian hair.
Absolutely.
So then I was taking the girls in to go, right, okay, we're gonna, with the apprentices, we're gonna now marry what you're doing. So when you're doing your cutting module, I'm going to be teaching you the cutting with textured hair. When you're doing your, do you know what I mean? So I worked with the colleges in that way, and grew to, you know, become a well-known educator out that way. And then we kind of fast forward to when we did Curly Kyler. That book was helping to empower young people to not only love what they have with their hair, but I found that even some children wanted to read it who had hearing aids or speech impediments or something that was different that made them go, but it's what's special about me.
Yeah.
And I'm gutted that we sort of then were going into COVID and I wasn't able to give a mass amount of promotion and everything I wanted to do at the time. Everyone, it was lockdown, wasn't it? But yeah, I kind of have always, like I said at the beginning, just gone, I can do this, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
do this.
You've got that,
so
that mentality.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I mean, you've done some work in film and TV, and I think that this area across film and TV is lacking so much.
This is your area
Sophia,
as well, isn't it?
This is what and the amount of times I've spoken with, you know, actors, you know, talent that have been on set, been on shoot, and nobody is educated about the combination hair, mixed hair, or style your own hair.
Yeah.
Style your own hair. I mean, you know, my son did quite a lot of modelling when he was young, and he had a lot of hair. And I would find that I would go to some of these sets and they would like just backcomb it all and want to make it look as bushy. And I said, you realise I've got to deal with that tonight.
Oh, right. 100%. You realise what you're doing here.
Do you know what you're doing with my child's hair? And it was like, but we need it big. We need it big. But his texture of his hair can't take that.
Right.
That's going to turn into locks.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And it was, I mean, I had a few experiences, but I think there's still that area you've done some TV and work, and I don't know like how you feel where it's evolving to and what more needs to be done. But there's still a big lack of this and representation. You know, a lot of people, like you said, I think a lot of the hair stylists that are there, they're only trained, as you say, in the Caucasian hair. So then why are they not trained in other textured hairs? Is this something that you are also, with your education, kind of pushing for?
Yeah, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. Sorry, the pollen count was really high this morning. I could feel myself.
That's right.
There's a lot happening behind the scenes to ensure that when talent and when artists are going for jobs now, in the small print, it states that they need to have somebody qualified and an expert in that field. Now, we are progressing. But the same way that in the colleges they're teaching Caucasian hair, I mean, you do need to have an understanding now. It's compulsory. You need to have an understanding in college now, which is great, of textured hair and styling. But what's happening is they're calling people like myself to go into colleges to teach the teachers because the teachers have to teach it, but the teachers don't know what.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're still on a bit of a back foot.
We're playing catch up.
We are playing catch up. Yeah.
And what's happening, the same thing's happening in the industry where we have amazing hair and makeup artists that are working in television and film. They also, before they got there, weren't given the training in textured hair, afro hair. But guess what? The next person who's going to be in their seat has got that.
Has got it.
And they go up to the chair and, hi, and they're already nervous.
Yeah.
The female or the male in the chair is already nervous because they've maybe not only had bad experiences in the industry, but we know what it's like trying to find a salon for ourselves. They probably had experiences that have traumatized them from way back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they sit in the chair and they're like, oh my gosh, can you do my hair? And the other person's like, and it's this awkward silence, and we all know what it feels like when you're nervous. Yeah. You're dropping things, you're getting clammy. I know. Like, oh yeah, I can kind of. It's not good enough. No, it's not good enough. Everybody
you're not made to feel special.
That's right. It's not fair on the makeup artist, and it's not fair on the artist who's in that chair.
Absolutely.
And everyone deserves to get the same. Level and standard of attention when they go onto set. As you know, you work in that industry, you want to be clear-minded to go on and make that contribution and learn your lines and do what you need to do, not worrying about, oh my gosh, did I pack, I don't know if I packed that product, or when I need to do this, or when they run on set, are they gone, if my hair reversed, do they know what? You don't need to be carrying all of that baggage.
It shouldn't be your responsibility for that, should it?
Shouldn't be your responsibility at
all.
I
mean, tell us about your time when you worked on some of these incredible
so I mean,
what was it like behind the scenes for you with that?
And can I ask, did you feel the change of when you from when you was not there versus to when you came there. So, for instance, when I'm looking at something like Hollyoaks, I'm seeing that when you came on set, everybody's makeup and hair turn up different. Do you understand? Because I was looking as an outsider before. So who's the stylist? What's the makeup on?
What's happened here? Something's changed.
Basically.
Something's different.
Yes. And I bet that was really welcomed.
Yeah, I mean, look, I wanted to just quickly drop in the fact that as much as all of this it has been amazing and it will continue to be amazing, it can be lonely.
Absolutely.
And socially, even moving out of London, I found that my friendship groups, I kind of lost touch.
Of course.
And I wasn't there for birthdays, and I couldn't be, I've got a business now, I've got a responsibility, and I couldn't make so much. And that's one part of the journey that's still quite a painful part to go.
It's a pain point, yeah. It is.
He's 15, he doesn't even know who I am, And these are friends that I went to school with that I wish I could have made every single one of the parties, every single one of the birthdays, but I had to focus. And
do you know what, though, I would say with that? Friends and people, you should just be loved unconditionally.
Yeah, most definitely.
And, time can pass, all right? But you should never be forgotten about, not loved. Yeah. And it is difficult when we have, friends and you maybe don't see their children grow up and they're like, but they should know me. But also you had to do what you had to do for you.
Most definitely.
And that's what's important. And, you're doing amazing now. We're going to touch on the stuff you open.
Yeah.
But you've still got some of these friends, still got some of
these people. I do.
It's tough when we move away. I think we have to make that big sacrifice, don't we? And friends are the hardest pull, I think, in our heart, because we can't pop rounds.
No, there's no popping. Not at all.
But anybody that loves you can see what you're doing and achieving, and just be like, keep shining that light.
And
I think that's it. You just want to cheerleaders from far and near. I think
love, isn't it?
Once you're grown as women and that have gone through the journey, I think that you recognise that when you see somebody sometimes move away, you have to move away to grow.
Yes.
Number one. And number two, like, if you've really got that love for them, you're going to celebrate. But even though you don't speak every day, there's like, we didn't see each other for years and then we connect back. It's like, oh my God, like it's the same link up.
Yeah.
And that's what you call natural love. But you sometimes, like, when you're going through it, you feel, oh, I hope they don't, you're thinking that you've missed birthdays or is somebody taking that to heart. And they don't realise that you've got your own stuff, own medical, health, life, business, children, relationships. Where does it end?
No, it's true. It's true. I just wanted to, for anyone out there that's looking and thinking, wow, this is, it looks amazing. It's so much, to achieve, but it's with sacrifice, 100%.
It is a lot of sacrifice. So let's talk about your new opening.
Yes. So
come on, tell us. So new opening of Salon. All right. We've got some
again with the braids.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
There she is. Hello, beautiful.
Yeah, your hair is absolutely like because there's some hairdressers
don't watch it now.
No, it's still great. It's still great.
She hasn't had time for it.
Your edges are edging, but some hairdressers you're just like, okay, I understand that you're really great at what you do, but your hair doesn't really reflect. She does always look good, but some hairdressers don't, do they? It is
hard. They say builders have the worst houses because they haven't got the time to do
everyone else's. I don't know if it's an insult to them. I do get it because, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Not in the hair or makeup or any industry.
No, it's tough. It is tough. I try.
So tell us about this. So you launched Salon,
right? Yes.
Tell us about this.
So chronologically, we.
You opened to the Salon, right?
Yes.
As well, going back.
Yes.
The first shop.
So I had the first shop, and then there was they were demolishing the building and stuff. So I only had that for a year. Then I found another unit and opened a salon not too far, and I had that for 13 years. So that was the main. Thank you. Salon space, training space, and everything. Everything happened. I learned a lot through that journey. I opened a shop next door and started to sell products and stuff like that. That wasn't as successful, but I learned so much through doing that. And so I decided to. I lost my mum.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. We always say this. We need a nice box of tissues.
Yeah, we really do.
Have a moment.
She was
your rock.
Absolute rock in a lot of our lives, wasn't she?
Yeah. It's fun. We always say we're not going to cry. And we're like,
So, and it became quite difficult to manage the salon. And I'd done it for so long that I thought, you know what? I'm kind of done now, you know.
Time for change.
Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I've done it and I've done amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I've done it. Do you know what I mean? Like, do we have to continue to work hard, to be in stressful situations? I've done it.
You've proven to yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to close. Just going to close it, and I'm going to take a handful of clients, and I'm just going to rent a chair somewhere.
Yeah.
Take away all the
That was really
responsibility.
brave. That was so brave. That was so brave.
So brave.
Yeah.
Like the salon.
Because it's like everything you've ever built, but then it's just like, no, I need to take time for me.
Yeah,
and
I did.
That wasn't an easy decision.
It wasn't an easy decision, and I needed, you know, it funded me. It funded, you know, I had a property by this time, and I had children. I had nursery fees. I had all of these things, and I was just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And if I take a handful of clients that I know, I can survive. That's good enough for me. Yeah. And so where I live, I live on like proper country road. But I always
Beautiful
used to
country
see,
road,
very nice
beautiful
country
scenery.
road. But I always used to see this little, like, I didn't know if it was a salon. Was it open? Was it not open? And when I was like really good with my fitness and stuff, which is not so good at the minute, but I used to always jog past, think, what's going on in there? And I noticed she said there was a chair to rent, and I thought, well, this is going to be perfect because it's opposite. Let me see what's going on. I asked her, and she was like, yeah, you could rent a chair. I was like, great. Now, it was further for my clients to travel, I think.
Okay.
Some were that way, but others they didn't mind. Because also,
once you find your hairdresser,
you will travel miles.
When it comes to hair, we will go.
You will do that mileage.
100%. And I was like, perfect, this is going to be great. So I'm going to do my clients from here, and it's just going to be lock the door and go home, and it'll be fine. Don't need to worry about anything else, wages, salary, nothing like that. But the lady who owns that place, the reason she wasn't there is because she worked in television and film. So I kind of got into understanding what life was like for her, working on set, traveling a lot. And there was a part of me going, this looks great. As much as it looks like it's a lot, it looks like something that I could change. Like, am I just going to be doing hair? Am I just going to be doing
You wanted a mix. You wanted a mix.
Change this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it didn't change. I just kind of continued, and I kind of looked at what she was doing, and we used to talk, and she was like, look, you're a great hairdresser. You'd be great in TV and maybe get into teaching because you've got the expertise, maybe start that way. But what happened was I just got a WhatsApp, and it said, Hollyoaks are looking for someone to do hair and makeup in Liverpool. But they need textured hair specialists. I was like, right, come on, kids.
Yeah, I was going to say, relocating was meant nothing to you. You're used to it.
Was like,
it's the kids that are probably saying, Mum,
honestly, packed up. Do you know what it was? After losing my mum and realising how short life was, I was like, we're going.
Go get it.
Come on.
True.
So, and I also had another child by then as well, but that's just another part of the story that we can get to. But anyhow, so
was she a COVID baby?
So you've got 3 children.
And a fiance.
and you're going to Liverpool.
Going. Off we go. My clients were like, no, you can't.
I mean, we said they'll go miles, but I'm not too sure.
I don't know if they're going to get to Liverpool.
Some of them were like, how far is it? Can we get? I was like, no.
You're on a train.
But more importantly, you'd probably be knackered. By the time you finish on set, you're like, I've got to still do hair.
We're going.
So how long did you do that contract for?
So I did that for a year. I learned makeup while I was there.
Amazing.
So that was something completely different for me. And it was amazing. It was such again, it was new. I took it all in. What I struggled with though was I'm going into an already established setup of a lot of makeup artists that have been doing this for a very long time. And who's she coming in to tell us?
Was it competitive? Was it? Or was it more territorial?
Yeah.
Territorial.
Yeah. I don't think my mental health has ever been challenged that much.
I'm not to laugh, but I can understand it because you're used to being the boss.
There we go.
Yeah. That was complete territorial. Like,
yeah.
What is this?
So what happens is like it's a whole dynamic shift, isn't it?
Oh, so I'm gonna have to come back.
We have to do part 2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a different landscape.
But it is different,
It's
and
a
the thing is as well, like the creative industry,
just different,
right?
isn't
It
it?
is different, and it does have elements of that, and it's really, it's like
Straining.
why is it
Straining.
like that? Do you know what I mean?
I'll give you one scenario. We've got an actress, a black actress, textured hair. I'm due to be on set to do her hair, but to wash it, blow dry it, braid it, get her wig on, makeup has to be done. She has to be on set for 8:30. So my call was something to 7.
Yeah.
But when I got to work, one of the makeup artists was already washing her hair, so I thought, great, kind of give
head
me
start.
Yeah.
Fab. So I could set up what I needed to set up. And the artist came up and she goes, I'm not sure if it was done properly, but I was like, well, we should be all right.
Yeah.
So check the hair, but I'm blow drying. And as I'm getting into the centre, I'm like, oh dear, this isn't washed up properly. So I've got a situation here. I'm new. I need to make a good impression. I need to do the right thing. I need to get her on set for a certain time. Can I re-wash this?
Did you have time?
Yeah.
No.
I did. I feel like I could have just about done it.
Yeah.
And because she'd also said, I'm not sure if it's done right,
Yeah.
I'm like, right, I need to make a decision. So I'm like, right, quick, let's go back to the basin. I can get it done.
Can I
Back
ask
to the basin?
the conundrum? So do you do something knowing that it can damage the client's hair, or do you do it, or do you continue forward? No, because I'm saying if you leave the soap in, we all know that leaving in, it's going to do some kind of damage. But then you know that you've got a timeline. So then it's like the work versus the
decision.
That is pressure.
And also production, and no fault to them, but they don't understand what goes in, and they need to start.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure. And I work fast. Now I'm coming from a hairdressing background. I've got a lot of experience. I'm like, right, let's get it done. So washed it, done. She was done. Bosh, 8:30, ready to go. So I was like, great, I can have my breakfast. So I've gone into the kitchen. The makeup artist has closed the door and gone, how dare you?
Because you went into her time, didn't you? What happened?
How dare you take her back
taken
and wash
over.
it
Yeah.
and undermine me like that?
Because she'd washed the hair.
Oh, no. Well, then,
so
when people's hair fall out, then who's that going to be on?
Yeah, so I was like...
But also it's the confrontation,
but
right?
who's that going to be on?
As well. You're just confronting me, like, not even in a
so I was like,
way, hold up,
I've only been here like
I'm
a
just
few weeks. Like I knew I could do it all the time.
Yeah.
You've
done it. You were doing
so I was like, she looked like she'd been crying. I sat down. I was like, I didn't do it for that reason. I did it because that was the right thing to do.
Of course.
So like, what would you want? Like, I'm here to show everyone how to do it correctly. So what would you expect me to do? She was like, well, you could have just gone through it, sent her on set, and then you could have spoken to me separately.
Wow. So sent her on set with what? The soap
in the hair.
So did you ask her to repeat what she said to herself out loud? So does it make sense?
So
no, but to be fair, that's where I think, Sophia, that's where you had to make some bold decisions. It shows you what kind of boss woman you are, and you had to protect that talent at that time.
You did,
and you also knew what you could deliver.
Yeah, but
the problem is that people have a little bit of insecurity within the industry, and that. She probably did feel she felt undermined.
That was her truth.
And that was her truth.
Yeah.
And also kudos to her, she kind of spoke it. She didn't just let it sit and be bitter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, what would you else have wanted me to do?
I think she probably made you laugh a bit hell after that, didn't she?
There were a few.
Then there was a little bit of an atmosphere.
Right. Atmosphere, a few issues of a similar sort of tone.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of like, I'm supposed to be here leading, but how am I navigating myself? So you're going to say, like, okay, Sophia, could you show me how to, say, fix this braid, for example? Should I? Am I gonna?
Second guess.
Do I?
Should I do it here?
Yeah. There's people watching.
Yeah. Will it look like I've undermined it?
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, like
and
I said,
this is, as you touched on, mental health then is real. People get damaged in those situations.
It was tough. It was tough, and there were mornings where my fiance would be like, "You don't want to go, do you?"
No.
And I'm like,
building
"Okay, I can
yourself
do
up.
it. Yeah, I can do it. I can do it today. I can do it today. I can do it today."
building
Do you know
yourself.
what-
I never came from that.
Do you know what's coming to me? Like that you managed to navigate your childhood bullying, but that's workplace bullying.
Brilliant.
And it's covert workplace bullying. It's not direct, because if it's direct, you handle it differently.
Yeah.
But it was covert because like you're here to do a job, so
Yeah.
so people's insecurities need to be checked at the door, left at the door. In fact,
I had to consciously remind myself why I was there.
Yeah.
And I managed to get amazing opportunities. It was great, but it wasn't easy.
It wasn't. No.
And when it came to the time to make a decision whether or not we should move back, I was pregnant with my 4th child, which was a surprise. And I was like, right, let's go back. I've got my clients still. I kept my clients. I had my home still.
Yeah.
My son would just go back to his school friends.
Yeah.
We'd have a bit more support with the baby. We moved back down, and then the opportunity of EastEnders came back down this way.
Wow.
And it just, you know?
Yeah, look at celebrate her.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, we have to mention your brother.
We
have to mention your brother in EastEnders and stuff.
we needed the two.
I mean, did having him working in the industry as well give you a little bit more of any like insight into stuff?
It gave me the confidence to move to Liverpool because he was there.
That's true.
And he was already on the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it had nothing to do with him, because when I told him I was moving up, he's like, what for? And I'm like, did you not know there was a job going in your actual work?
He probably didn't.
Yeah.
That's because he's not a female as well.
Exactly.
Like,
And
so.
he's like, oh, now you say that. Yeah, that makes sense. Man, honestly.
Yeah.
Thanks for that,
And Richard was there as well at your launch,
he was
right?
there,
For your
and
shop.
yeah, he was there for so
Look at
we'll
that.
leave the industry stuff.
Yes.
So we opened the new studio 8 weeks ago, and the new studio is basically all of those years of everything just consolidated into
and it's
one
so
space.
Beautiful.
It's so
I wish we had.
We're gonna tag share. Get to know. Come and visit the salon. Come and book your appointments. Come and do
100%.
anything. Like get involved with you as well to do
as
that.
well,
Even me, hello, I need to
come and get involved.
So, and how was the launch, Dave? I bet
The
it
launch
was a
was lovely.
celebration.
So, like I said, I live in a little village, and I didn't want to go like, oh my gosh, she's bringing Nottingham Carnival to the little, you know what I mean, a little village.
I wouldn't mind that, innit? They need a bit of colour in the community.
I absolutely loved it. All my neighbours are amazing. They're like, oh, your launch was amazing. And there was loads of people on the road and people driving past. It wasn't huge, but it was just enough. And it's not the biggest. It's not as big as my other salon, but it's enough. It's just perfect. It really is.
And you're now at peace and in a happy space with what you want to do with your business. Sophia, looking back, what advice would you give your younger self?
Self-belief is everything. Put it before absolutely everything, and only you create those barriers, and only you create that I can't do.
That's so powerful.
Yes,
it's all up here. It really is. If you tell yourself you can, you will. If you tell yourself you can't, you won't.
And I think your journey with what you've been through, you know, as a mother, businesswoman, family, grief, experiences. What would you say to some other, you know, young women out there? And maybe they're going through, they might be in a similar place of like some of the pivotal moments that you've spoken about. But what kind of advice would you give them to, you know, if they want to fulfill their dreams? What advice would you say to them?
One thing I didn't mention was in that first difficult time when I was 19 and I had Antonia by myself. Life has a funny way of going round in a circle, and my fiance and father to my children is my first daughter's dad, that we've actually gone 360. So the man I'm going to marry.
Because if you're like me, guys, I need to process that.
You need to go slowly.
So say that again. Your fiance,
is the father of my first child, who didn't help me raise that first child.
So there's so much in that statement. There's forgiveness, patience, love.
That's beautiful to hear, though.
It is the
he wanted
best.
to be a lad.
Yeah.
And you know what? People go through their different journeys and their different transformation, and some people need
Just
to.
like us
some people
guys.
grow quicker.
Yeah,
some people grow.
And that's my parents' story as well, by the way.
And that's
Yes,
so
my parents'
beautiful.
story. They came back
So
together.
you are now together with.
So we're
And you have four.
I now have four children.
Beautiful blessing.
It is a blessing.
So yeah, it's so.
Saying that, then the advice is.
The advice is honestly
that you don't know what God's got in store.
You really, really don't.
Oh,
and
wow.
keeping the faith.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that your favourite F word?
Yeah. and what is your? Because you are FWS. What is your favorite?
It is going to be faith.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because,
but keeping the faith. It's not always easy.
No, it's not, because life. These young ones now, we've really, really got to help them understand that life's going to throw you some stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you're not mentally fit enough, it can break you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think, Sophia, I think we have to have another
100%. I think so. Absolutely.
Yes, please. Bring me back.
I think we need to get Sophia
we
back
100% need her back.
Well,
On the sofa.
I think there is so much
unpack.
more.
There's a lot.
Which we'd love to have all the time in the world, and we actually can't, unfortunately. But I think we do need to get you back, because there's so many different things
from relationships to grief.
Yeah.
Just inspiration.
And
just thorough inspiration from the beginning to the end. There's something that our pastor that we had on the pink sofa said, our pastor, she's also a sponsor of the delightful food for the podcast.
Yeah.
But she said that resilience is forged in adversity, meaning that when young people say that they need to know life is going to chuck them stuff, you are not going to be brilliant until you've learned how to take those.
We've got the audience members doing this.
Yeah.
I love that quote, and I think that it's just so poignant, and I think that's been your journey, and I think it's ordained, because you know, if you've got it up here, and I'm not talking about academic now, I'm just talking about faith.
Yeah.
And if you talk to yourself nicely, we should all wear a t-shirt, like wake up in the morning and talk to yourself nicely, say your affirmations. Anything is possible.
And also surround yourself with people that are gonna uplift you.
Absolutely.
People that are doing the same thing. People that are doing better.
Absolutely.
You know? So you've got
something to like.
100%.
That's right.
Most definitely.
Well, I am personally as well, and I know we are so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You are just so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks so much
with us.
for allowing me to.
And we just wish you every ounce of success with everything that you do. Yeah, and I know
we want our invitation to the wedding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wedding vibes. But before, obviously, we say goodbye to Sophia, we always like to ask the live audience, because we have a live audience, to ask her any questions. Are you okay with that?
One quick question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're coming across as a really strong woman.
Wow.
And there's been times when you've had to really dig deep to get that strength. But where does that strength come from?
Ooh, where does that strength come from? That's a good question.
My fiance, my children, they wouldn't even know. Some mornings I'm just like, especially with the loss of my mum, I'll just become overwhelmed, and I'll cry, and I'll just like, okay, I have to keep on going, especially for my babies. They mean everything to me. And as much as I'm in pursuit of my own career, they are the forefront, and I can't fold. I can't fold with having them as my responsibility. So it's through my babies.
Oh,
what an incredible guest, Sophia. Thank you so much. We want to thank Sophia for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we thank you all for tuning in to part one.
Yeah, we don't want you to go anywhere. We do have.
Yes,
we're going to part one. We're going to have her back, but we are going to hand over as well to DJ QG. Stay around, because we obviously have our second guest.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And next, coming up on the news, we have Natalie Lindi. Now, Natalie is a pop and R&B artist, born and raised in London. Her EP, Divine Love, is available on all platforms, so Apple, Spotify, go on YouTube, find her, Natalie Lindi, look for her, very pretty young lady too. So, what I know about Natalie is that in 2019, she won Open Mic UK, well done, and in 2022, she was selected for the MOBO Awards, MOBO Unsung. So, without ado, let's welcome her to perform. But before we perform, you want to do a little chat with me first?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, so Natalie, before you entertain the audience, just give us a quick little few. I've got like what, 4 questions, really, really quick answers. So, how would you describe your music style?
Do I need to talk into this mic?
I would describe my music style as pop, R&B, with a little bit of soul in there as well. Yeah.
I think there's more than a little bit of soul, because as I said to Natalie this morning, I was doing my mundane mum-child chores, washing the school uniforms, getting them ready for next week, and I was listening to everything that you've got on Apple, and it is beautiful. So I really would suggest that you find her and have a listen. So next question, what's the most rewarding part of making music for you?
Oh, I like that question. Probably when I write a good song, that feeling of like euphoria that you get from writing something that you really connect with, or that you know is going to be fun to sing live. And also it's a way for me to like process my emotions. Yeah.
Good. Oh, that's great. Next question. So if you could collaborate with any artist, who would it be? Come on.
This is a hard question, but I always say Beyonce, because I feel like if you collab with Beyonce, you're just kind of, you're set for life, you know? You're just that person that's got to collab with Beyonce.
She'll be here soon. Beyonce. We have lovely Natalie who would love to be mentored. So, put it out there, it will come back for you. Yeah. So what's the most important lesson that you've learned so far from the music industry and working in music?
The music industry is very layered, and it's not really what you initially think it is from the outside. And the more you get into it, the more you see that there's a lot of things that go into other people's success, and it's not just about talent or anything like that. It's a lot about who you know. So I would say the biggest lesson's been patience, and like making those connections and just trusting the process. Yeah.
Nice answer. Yeah, so trusting the process and network, very important in the music industry. So, Natalie, what's the name of the track you're going to perform for us?
It's called Grace, and you were just spinning it earlier. Yeah. It's my most recent single.
My holy place, when I'm lying next to you, the world just fades. Been trying to figure out why I don't feel that way, when he's all I need. Oh, I'm in lust with you, I'm in love with you, but I don't think that I could do that to him. He's so good to me, but falling for you feels like grace. I adore you, I won't say. When you hold me, I still see your face. Oh yeah, I tried, no one can take your place. You feel like grace on. Ooh, waiting by the phone when you say you'll call me back. I know I shouldn't be playing, made a mistake if I do it again. I ain't yours to take, but I'ma let you have me anyway. You give me what I crave when he can. My holy place, when I'm lying next to you, the world just fades. Been trying to figure out why I don't feel that way, when he's all I need. Oh, I'm I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you, but I don't think that I could do that to him. He's so good to me, falling for you feels like grace. I adore you, I won't say. When he holds me, I still see your face. Oh yeah, I tried, no one can take your place. You feel like grace, oh,
Jump right into it. Why did you originally write this song?
Ooh, well, sometimes I write songs based on my experience, and other times it's just a story that I'll come up with. So at the time, I was seeing somebody, and I got a crush on someone else. Yes, I did. I know.
You know, Liyanne processes things. You were seeing someone, but you had a crush on someone else.
Yeah. It
happens.
It happens.
It's life.
And so that's what the song is about. So we kind of dramatized it. Me and my producer wrote it together.
Yeah,
we kind of made it a bit more like dramatic, and it was like a whole thing where I actually did end up cheating in the song.
Oh.
In the song.
I'm touching my head the light is starting.
Yeah,
in the song. Yeah.
Because, you know, it makes it a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
I think before we even go into unpacking all of that, I think we should play the song. The video.
The music video, yeah.
Let's play the video.
Yeah.
And then they can kind of like, I hope it doesn't get copyright strike, but yeah, then they can kind of get a grasp. But it's a beautiful video,
beautiful.
and I'm sure Liyanne's got loads.
Should we move?
What loads of
Need to
questions?
move?
I think let's move and come
Yeah?
back.
Yeah.
My holy place. When I'm lying next to you, the world just fades. Been trying to figure out why I don't feel that way. When he's all I need, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you, but I don't think that I could do that to him. He's so good to me, but falling for you feels like grace. I adore you, I won't say. When he holds me, I still see your face. Tried, no one can take your place. You feel like grace. Waiting by the phone when you say you call me back. Oh, I shouldn't be playing. It ain't a mistake if I do it again. I ain't yours to take, but I'ma let you have me anyway. Give me what I crave when he can. My holy place. When I'm lying next to you, the world just fades. Been trying to figure out why I don't feel that way. When he's all I need, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you, but I don't think that I could do that to him. He's so good to me. Falling for you feels like grace. I adore you, I won't say. When he holds me, I still see your face. Tried, no one can take your place.
I mean, we were just having a little chat about the video. Underwater stuff, yeah. What was that like?
It was crazy because I'm not like the biggest swimmer in general.
Yeah.
But I just had this vision that a section of the video would be underwater. I wasn't sure if it would be in like a lake or a swimming pool or wherever. And then we just decided to do a swimming pool. And basically to sink underwater, to stay underwater, you need to empty like 80% of your lungs so that you're less buoyant, basically.
How do you do that?
Did they teach you?
You just sorry, that sounds really dramatic.
Basically, you have a panic attack.
Yeah, so have a panic attack. You breathe out and then you hold your breath right at the bottom. So you're like, and then you go in instead of like.
Look at that skill.
So you don't
breathe out.
And I think originally I would go, and then but this you breathe out.
You breathe out
and hold it.
Yeah.
You've just taught me something.
I'm probably breathing all the water.
And how long was you under the water for?
Well, not very long.
Okay.
Probably like 30 seconds at a time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like that in the video.
Yeah.
It's very good.
And
It's a
the
lovely video.
choreography of it as well.
Yeah, I just met him on that day.
Wow.
It was really intense.
Wow.
It was
We're
really
learning a
intense.
lot about that.
Yeah.
Great,
So-
thank you. Well, he was a good sport then, wasn't he? Going underwater as well, like.
He was like, so basically his girlfriend styled me for the Mobos.
Ah, perfect.
And so she was like, my boyfriend would be perfect for this. He's looking to get into more acting, modeling,
Great.
and he's a great swimmer. So I was like, okay, sick. Met him on the day, was awkward as hell for the first like 5 minutes, and then yeah, it was fine. He was
Do
great.
you know what though? This is what I love about us creatives, you know.
Yeah.
We just take opportunities
And we
don't
make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to.
I mean, you had TJ QG ask you some amazing questions,
That's
but
right.
we'd just love to get to know you just a little bit more,
Yeah.
Natalie. Like who you are, how you started, you know, your little music journey that you're on right now. Tell us a little bit about Natalie.
Well, where do I start?
I think let's take it back to your first encounter with music.
Yeah.
Or the mic, or the guitar.
Wow. I started playing keys. That was my first instrument.
I thought so,
really?
because
Yes.
most people are multidisciplinary.
Yeah. So my brother, who's older than me, my mum bought him a keyboard before I was born, and then I was born and I ended up using it more than him because he got into acting more.
Okay.
So I started playing, and then one of my neighbors, who's like best friend of mine, like she would come over and we would like write songs together and like make things up, and they were like really bad, but you know, we were like 7 or whatever.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
I don't remember the first one.
Yeah.
I remember one that we wrote together. It was like, why did I leave my best friend? I shouldn't have left her crying.
That sounds like a great song. That sounds like a great song.
My mum quotes it to this day.
Really?
She does, yeah.
So
yeah.
you're leaving boyfriends, you're leaving best friends, you're just leaving.
She's picking up a stylist boyfriend to swim underwater.
It's a lot
Great
going
man.
on, yeah.
Great,
It's a good
great.
look. It's a really good look.
Great, it's great
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you started out really young,
Yeah,
knowing what
that's
you wanted
young.
to do in music.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that it was a
Gonna-
career path.
Yeah,
I
of
didn't know,
course.
like, I thought people were just like artists and that was it. And everyone else had to find like a normal job. And then I was like taking GCSE music when I was like 16. And my teacher was like, you know, you can like pursue this if you want. And I was like,
Really?
Oh.
It's an option?
yeah. So I started, I took music A level and then I studied it at uni, graduated 2019. And then,
Congrats.
yeah, now I'm here trying to do my thing.
Do your thing. And tell us, you are doing your thing. Like, I mean, there's been some
Absolutely
incredible
There's
achievements.
vocals.
Yeah.
Vocals. Let's. Did you get any vocal training, or is that all kind of self-practice? Because you hit some Mariah Carey notes.
Amazing notes. Yeah.
It's a bit of a mixture.
Yeah.
Like on and off growing up, I would have lessons, but I actually taught myself how to do the really
Vibrato.
high ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it falsetto or which one is it?
Falsetto is like really high, and then whistle tones like Mariah.
Okay, so you done whistle tone.
Not today, but I can do whistle tone.
So can
Yeah.
you take us through how a whistle tone diaphragm-wise, like how do we get there?
Yeah.
Because one wants to try and broaden their vocal.
Broaden the range.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with the emptying my lungs. So this is too much. But yeah.
Naturally, my natural tone
Got
is
a
down,
lower voice.
I've got bass.
Yeah.
So somebody with bass, but Beyonce's got bass. And
She does.
So she can go from there to there. So what's the discipline from reaching there?
From there to there. It's about placement more than it is about breath. So if you're like good with breath control already, it's not something that you'll have to like relearn.
Yeah.
Like in terms of placement, it's very like forward. And how I learned how to do it was doing like sounds like really forward and in your nose.
In your nose.
And then
so almost a congested nose.
Yeah.
Really?
So you do
I
like
should be able to do it
because the hay fever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like an N sound really helps. Yeah. But I can hear. Yeah. You can place it even more forward.
I can do dance moves for you guys.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is,
wow.
I've always wanted to hit a whistle tone. I'm not a singer, but I
maybe
like to
by
play.
the end of the
end of the day.
Maybe. You're gonna get there. That's gonna be your achievement.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So as we move on, so from I would say the A levels and graduating, and then probably going into the workspace, maybe looking at a 9 to 5 and thinking this wasn't for you. Where was the decision to pursue music like a full force that you are today?
So I was originally a receptionist in a GP, like after I graduated, and then
see that.
yeah, and then like pursuing it on the side. So I've always been doing it like a mixture.
Yes.
And kind of building up my contacts while doing the receptionist work, and it was really stressful, and I didn't do well with it because it's a lot of like responsibility, I feel like, and I was just not in that headspace.
Yeah, of course.
So I did that for 2 years, and then I pursued music full time, and then like kind of on and off. And at the moment, I was doing it full time, but I've recently got a job at a coffee shop, just a few days a week, bringing some extra money.
Understand that?
Yeah, because it's
The hustle is
expensive.
real.
I mean, it's creatives. I think this is
every
the
creative.
reality of it.
It
isn't
is,
You always
yeah.
have to find different things to kind of tie you over in while you're building the creative side of things.
Yeah, because music videos be expensive.
Oh,
they'd be expensive.
They're really expensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping to. I will be doing music full time at some point. It's just it takes a while to build.
Absolutely, we know. And what kind of opportunities came with the winning the Mobile Unsung? Because I think
tell us about that experience. I bet that was amazing.
Yeah, it was really exciting. So basically you have to audition, and 20 people got shortlisted, and then 10 people got chosen. And it's been great. Like Jordan Adetunji, who's like popping off right now, was in the same year as me.
Wow.
So we've stayed connected, which is nice. And then like just everyone stayed connected in some way.
That's
and
good.
A lot of support has come from it. Like I think I know you guys from Wisdom.
Yes, and I was going to say the newest cohort. What I've seen is that they're very much, every year it becomes a community.
Yeah,
and it's actually what I've learned about the industry is that people come in and they try to network. What's this one? Vertically.
Yeah.
And then you get shut down a lot.
Yeah.
Because people up there are looking down at you, thinking you're insignificant. And really, what happens with something like this is that you're networking horizontally, and then you're all coming together. So you've mentioned somebody who's like in the same year as you, but what makes me laugh about the music industry or just the creative industry is that somebody may have a head start, but you just don't know who's going to have the impact because it's like people start at different times, and you just don't know what song's going to be the hit, what song's going to register with people in that way. And I must say, to anybody who's listening, I've got full faith that Natalie is just going to be a blockbuster business.
Absolutely.
Her music is absolutely incredible. And to hear you live as well.
Yeah,
so there's a difference between studio artists and like stage presence. And that's something that can't be taught unless you kind of went to a school to learn it. But I'm saying there's some artists that they've got the cadence, they've got the lyrics, but then when you put them on the stage, they're out of breath. They run out of breath. There's the breath work, and then they don't necessarily have that connection with the audience. And you've just got it all. So
thank you.
Most welcome.
So tell us the Unsung Mobile Awards. Like, tell us a little bit. How did that kind of make you feel at that time? I suppose like you've been going through.
It was like one of those moments that really validated my journey and made me feel like, oh, okay, I can do this, because I was at a very stagnant point at that point, and I didn't know how to move forward. And it felt like I was writing music, I was gigging a lot, but I didn't know what was missing. And so like joining the Mobile One Song was like a way of helping me move forward. And yeah,
it's important that there is kind of those platforms, isn't there, and those things to support the artists, because otherwise you can feel a little bit stagnant and stuff and lost. Or is there the support out there for you? And what's happening for you now? Like, so where's Natalie, and what's she planning to do now?
I signed a publishing deal recently.
Yeah.
I
did. Is that an exclusive? Is that exclusive? Like,
I saw it on the ground.
It's on my Instagram. It's on the gram.
But we get up to the Yes, DJ QG. That's pull it.
Congrats, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's another milestone moment for me, because it's another like validating thing as well, and it's another support system and another addition to the team that I'm trying to build. So I'm hoping that some really nice things come from that. It's a 3-year deal, so we'll see.
Amazing.
See what happens.
Great.
And so with the publishing deal, because Clifford Chance and Urban Lawyers, they talk about the publishing versus the record label deal. To sign or not to sign, that is the question.
Yeah, that is the question.
That is the question.
Do you mean with like record labels?
Yeah. Where are you at with that? I mean, have you done your due diligence? Do you know much about navigating that space? And do you see yourself trotting on the independent route, or do you see yourself being taken up by a label, given an exuberant amount in advance, and then maybe potentially being shelved or potentially being marketed? Who knows?
This is the thing, isn't it?
This is the thing.
I think I'd like to get to a point where a label feels like they need me more than I feel like I need them.
That's the right answer, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because it's a different negotiation.
Yeah. Exactly. And they're less likely to shelve you as well. But it depends. Like, if I get to a point where I'm really solid and I don't need a label, then why would I sign?
That's very true.
But it would help. I'm not going to lie, it would help.
It costs anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you know when people get shelved? I know Ray's probably spoken about that more from a writer's perspective.
Yeah.
But do you know why labels do that? Why would you go out aggressively, sign up musicians and then shelve them? It makes no sense.
I don't know. I've heard different things. Like, some people say it's to kind of like, it's something to do with the money side of things and tax.
Basically, that's why they do it. So it's not that I'm not saying that the talent's not a talent, but it's not so much that they're interested in the talent. They're more interested in having a big bit of money written off that they've invested, and now they can get that through the year. And so lots of signees, it's bad because it doesn't really help the ecosystem of the musician or of the music industry, because now they're hogging something that they have no intention of releasing. That's a bit like Monopoly, isn't it? Like the game.
Yeah. And also, like, I've heard some people will sign artists so that they don't overtake other similar artists that they've signed, which is so like messed up.
That's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
They know if you're a direct competitor of their main artist, they'll sign you, but they won't. But then I think that I'm not saying every artist should be switched on, but if you are going to take that deal, know what is in it for you. I think do your due diligence.
100%.
Would you want to be on the same label as somebody who's your direct competitor? Because there's a conflict of interest there, because they can't market you at the same time. And it's already hard enough for women in the industry because they don't already. It's not a one rule in, one rule out, but it is very minimal who can be at the forefront at the same time.
At once, isn't it? Yeah.
Which is.
And for anyone like Natalie that doesn't know you, say they haven't heard your music, or don't know, how would you describe you as an artist?
I would say I'm primarily pop at the center, because all my songs are a little bit like commercial vibes, but I've got a lot of influence from R&B, soul, and folk even in some of my tracks.
And some jazz.
Oh my god, I always forget to say that, but
jazz in there. That's what I love, is the jazz, the vibes. I
love Ella Fitzgerald, I love Nina Simone, like the classics. I studied jazz in college. Like jazz, my vocal teacher like gave us loads of jazz standards.
Amazing.
So yeah, definitely jazz as well.
I was going to say that Amy, did you mention it? Like you mentioned Beyonce, but did you mention any of your musical inspiration?
Janae Aiko. I love Janae Aiko.
Oh, I love Janae Aiko. Yeah.
I actually really like The Weeknd, like his really early stuff.
His
early stuff, because it was so unique for the time.
I was going to say, growing up, what kind of music were you kind of inspired and influenced by? What did you listen to?
Destiny's Child.
Yes.
A bit of Mariah.
Yeah.
A lot of South African jazz. Like my mum would play lots of different artists in the house.
Beautiful.
But I loved watching like pop stars just like be superstars. It was so fun.
Is the music videos? What was it that kind of sold it for you? Was it the song or the visual or both?
I think both, and I think the energy that like pop stars have of like just being like a strong, iconic. You know, I just feel like that's inspiring, and it kind of gives you permission to do the same and like own your power in a way. Yeah.
And so, what's the vision for Natalie?
Yes,
where do we see Natalie? I mean, I can see where
I can see.
What's Natalie's vision for you as an artist?
It changes. It does. Yeah, like at one point I felt, I want to be like a really acoustic kind of Corinne Bailey Rae vibe. But I feel like that's because everyone told me that I look like her.
Yes.
But then I started leaning more into the R&B roots and like what I actually enjoy, which is like dancing and like choreo and stuff like that. And I think I want to be a very versatile artist. So.
You come across as that, because what I met when we met last year, I've seen a whole different like you're growing in different spaces and you're exploring more, and I love that for you, because I think that like you appeal to different audiences.
Yeah, I think it's important to hone in, and that's what I'm trying to do is like hone in on a sound and something that's distinctive, but I never want to be like limited by
just one box.
Yeah. So.
No, I love that, Natalie.
Yeah.
And what's coming up for you? Is there anything that's coming up? I mean, you've said about your publishing deal. Is there any other things coming up?
Shows, any summer festivals?
Performing anywhere?
I don't know about festivals for sure. I have a song coming out. It was supposed to come out today, but we've had some technical difficulties.
As we do.
So
we understand that on this show. And thank you for bearing with us. We understand.
So probably going to be like 20th of June, but that's going to be a very romantic like ballad called Confessions.
Wow.
That's got some whistle tone in it.
Ooh.
So I'm going to send it to you. And you can be like practicing like...
I'm actually going to do your video.
Okay.
So when I'll record it for you.
Do it.
And then you can make it go viral.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It sounds like a cat dying.
No, but honestly, that's how I sounded when I was first learning.
Really?
I was in the shed screaming for like a week.
Oh my God.
I went into the garden
shed.
You can
use your voice trying to do that, can't you?
You can.
You strain your vocal cords.
Yeah.
Any interesting stories in regards to your voice? Have you ever... I remember once I went out to perform and I was booked to perform and everything, and I literally got there and my voice went, I had no voice, and it's like, you're making it up. I really can't.
Oh my God.
They're like, you're making it up. I'm like, no.
I mean, have you had any things like that? Or how do you look after
that? Was actually stress though. That was stress and tiredness, like, because like, it can just hit you out of nowhere where your voice just goes.
That's how I feel today. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you.
And she did so well.
But you came.
I'm glad you feel that, because after that I was like, I'm not happy with that. But
do you know that that's actually a nervous thing though? And I'm not saying that you're nervous, but for me, I recognise that it's like I wanted to do it, but there was parts of me that didn't want to do it. And so like my chords said it for me, you're not doing it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know, because I was saying to my manager, I was like, I need to go doctor or something, because I got sick recently and I was sick for like 3 weeks or something, and there was this throat thing, and it just wouldn't go away.
That's a strain that's going around where people. Like, ever since COVID, have you not noticed that like
lots of things keep popping up,
and it's just like it takes its time to.
Like,
what would have probably cleared from you in a week? Now a whole month.
Yeah,
I'm still coughing after a month.
But what do you do to look after your vocals and stuff like?
So there's this thing called a vocal tube that is like a silicone straw, and you fill up a bottle like maybe up to like here, and you just put it in there and you do like and that like gets your airflow going. I also steam my voice, so like there's
it looks like a bong, and you just like put hot water in it, and you just breathe it in, and you steam your voice.
Can you send me that?
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I look after my voice, and I try to do vocal warm-ups whenever I can.
Yeah. Well, I heard you earlier doing your vocal warm-ups. And
Yeah.
how important is that before?
So important.
It's just like an athlete
So
has to
important.
kind of stretch. You have to
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like stretching your voice.
stretch your voice.
It's like some people are like born and they have like a big, strong voice.
Yes.
I'm not one of those people. Like I've had to work quite hard to get
Yeah.
my voice to where it is. So if I don't train that muscle memory again, if I don't stretch, it will just be like, no, sorry.
Oh.
So yeah,
You have to look after it.
100%.
That muscle.
Can't take it for granted.
No.
Whenever I have, it's like not done me.
It won't do any favors if you're not looking after it, right?
And so,
Great.
what's been the hardest part of, I would say, your journey to date? Would you say, or your massive pain point? Because I know it's a lot to pivot and juggle, but like in terms of in the industry or just releasing music, what's been the hardest thing for you?
It not looking how I thought it would look in my head. Because I, like when I was like 5, I was like, oh, I want to be a pop star. And then I didn't know that was like something you could, like I wrote in my diary and everything. And then I realized I could actually try and do it when I was like 16. So from 16, I wrote out this plan. By the time I'm 23, I'll be here. And I'm 27. So it's like, it's not happened yet.
The timeline's
not matching.
Yeah.
But
behind the scenes doesn't match.
No.
But everybody from the outside thinks it's glamorous.
Things are moving for you. That's the main thing. Things are moving. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, I think that's been the hardest bit, is like letting go of expectations and letting it be what it is. And also the music industry has changed a lot.
Absolutely.
Like with TikTok and like labels working completely differently. And
now they go to TikTok to find the talent, don't they? So you've got to be on TikTok, really.
Yeah.
Hi, TikTokers.
Hi, TikTokers.
So what's the greatest misconception? We are F the news, but you know, we're femme in the news. What's the greatest misconception that you think people have about you or your sound? Or have you ever really paid attention to any?
That's an interesting one.
Because we had Zeta, which we mentioned, and she's got some naysayers.
Love Zeta.
And I think that's really it's married in the sense that people like to say that you can't do something that you know, and that's their limited self-belief. So you know, what was the?
I produce, and I'm not like a top producer or anything, but I feel like a lot of producers immediately look at me and they're like, oh, she's just a singer, and they don't take into account that I actually do produce, and a lot of my creations are from like my own mind, and I have a very strong vision for what I want a song to sound like. So like I find it annoying sometimes when I go in the session and I'm like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and they're just like, nah, let's do it like this, and I'm like, but you don't hear what I'm hearing, please.
The frustration.
Yeah, it's very jarring. So I'm trying to like navigate that. And I think
interesting.
A way that I'm trying to navigate it more is like pouring into myself and like maybe coming into a session with stronger demos, so I don't have to like explain myself too much.
Now it's like, you follow this.
Yeah, this is what I want it to sound like.
I kind of have an idea. It's the position is a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the producing, that at the end of the day, you write your own stuff. You play, you are actually a producer. This is what line of a producer, you're the exec producer, like, you know, people take it too. So sometimes you co-produce. You sit down there playing the keys, you're hearing the drum beat. So
exactly.
I think it's a negotiation really, but again we're talking about territorial stuff again here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Go to a whole another discussion there.
Completely.
I mean, we do have a live audience as well, Natalie. So, I mean, it'd be great to ask if there is.
Have you guys got any questions?
Any questions for Natalie? I mean, and also, where can, like, while we're waiting for some questions, where can everybody find you, follow you? I know you said
talk about that.
Where can we hear your music?
Yeah, so I'm all over streaming platforms. Just type my name in, Natalie Lindi, and it's like Linda but with an I. And Instagram, Natalie_Lindi. TikTok, same.
Great.
Facebook,
brilliant.
Okay, excellent. We've got a question here. What's your go-to track to get you motivated?
Yes.
Motivated.
That's quite hard.
Wow, we've got a falsetto right there. That's a viral moment.
Okay, well, I'm just laughing because I'm embarrassed. But I'm gonna be so real. Okay.
I love it.
Is it your music?
No. Well, sometimes, yeah, but right now,
Yeah.
like it changes all the time. But right now, you know that
Oh my goodness!
I'm just getting motivated.
My 4-year-old daughter
I love that song.
dances around to that.
And I'm like, this has crack in it. Like it has something in it.
has.
Where I'm like, it's got drugs in the song.
It's got drugs.
And I understand.
It's
like,
a viral song, isn't it? It's like, do you remember when we was growing up and it was a frog song?
Oh yeah. I'm a bit of like I think I might have something going on in my brain, but like I'm very like I love songs that are like just a bit crazy, and that is a really cute song, and I get why the kids love it.
Yeah. It
gets me going.
It definitely
And Natalie loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's your favourite F word, Natalie?
Well, you got it there.
obviously there's an obvious one, but it's not my favourite.
Is there an obvious one?
Yeah, we don't want the obvious.
I was gonna say like fried. I like fried food.
Fried chicken.
I don't eat meat.
Fried.
Oh
no.
So, fried plantain?
Yeah,
fried
plantain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say fried.
What is your background, by the way? Because I've thrown you like fried plantain, fried fish. Like,
I'm not Caribbean.
What's your background?
Both my parents are South African.
Amazing.
Yeah, black and white South African.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Have you been to South Africa?
I used to go every year.
Amazing.
Yeah, as a little girl.
It's quite a long flight, isn't it?
11 hours. Yeah.
Long flight.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's got to be done. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I love my family out there. Yeah.
Good. What a pleasure it has been as well having Natalie with us.
Thanks for having me.
We want everyone to follow you, support you.
Yeah.
And we just wish you all the success. We'll be following your journey. We'll be,
Oh,
to everything that's happening. I know there's going to be some big things happening for Natalie. So we thank her so much for performing and being an incredible guest today.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for creating such an amazing platform.
God bless you, sis.
We need more platforms like this.
It's a pleasure to have beautiful guests that have just been so open and honest with their journey.
Absolutely.
That is the part that you can't make up, and that's the part that we really are proud and humble to be able to do and give. Yeah.
But please give a big thank you to our wonderful guest and performer, Natalie.
Come again.
Thank you, Natalie.
Before we go, we just want to say, please keep streaming, subscribing, commenting, tell a friend to tell a friend, and just keep, championing F the News, the team.
Yes. We thank you so much as well for joining us today. We thank our incredible guests, Sophia and Natalie, also our amazing DJ QG, who's in the house, and the live audience that are here with us today. We want to thank our sponsors as well.
Yeah,
we've got
I'm in business. Thank you so much.
And our wonderful, we can't ever forget our cushions as well, that keep us cozy. And like Sanch said, please just keep supporting, liking, sharing, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are going to hand you over now to Josh.
The Hologram Host. Where are you, Josh?
Where are you? Let's see who she's got in the news vault for you this week, and we will see you next week.
On the pink sofa.
Bye.
And this week, stepping into the news vault is Tree Salt performing her track Beloved.
Loving does surround me. Every sound I hear is love. Everywhere I look is love. Loving does surround me. Every sound I hear is love. see